Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we're going to look at the top 8 from the CoreTCG and Top Cut events that happened this past weekend, both online events with best of one formats. And I'm sorry this video came out a day late. I wanted to bring this out on Monday, but I didn't have the time for it, and there's just all this information I want to stockpile. So hopefully this handy dandy spreadsheet, which will also be a link in the description below, will kind of make up for the lost day. But it has almost all the deck lists from not only the CoreTCG and Top Cut, but also the PPG, so you can look at that, and just some like minor stats on leaders and everything, and also some videos of the people who actually play these decks talking about their decks as well, which is probably like the best resource for it. So and if you guys have any of the missing information, I'd really appreciate it. I think Jacobs used the same deck as he did in PPG because he got top 8 in there as well, or at least pretty similar. But I'm also missing Chris Jordan's Damasu and Edgar's Vegix as well. So if you guys have those, that's great. And also if there's any other YouTube videos going over decks, I definitely would link these here. But let's talk about these. I'm really excited about this meta, and if you guys, this phrase gets thrown around a lot, but this is like the best meta we've ever been in. There's just so much stuff viable right now, and I know it's a bit skewed since this is like a best of one meta. But if you look at the core TCG, we had 8 different leaders for the top 8 spot, which is just completely unheard of, especially even for like an online kind of more not like in between a regional and locals kind of level event. So that's really cool. And then Top Cut, we had a big spike of Zamasus, but one of everything else of Vegito, Reboot Gohan, Dredge, Vegix, and Invoker. So if you look at the two top 8s of these combined, which is what I call it top 16. I don't know if that's clickbait or not. But we've got 4 Zamasus, and then 2 Vegix, 2 Vegito, 2 Reboot Gohan, 2 Dredge, 1 Cell Surge, 1 Gotenks, 1 Voker, and 1 Reboot Hit. So that means 9 different leaders across the top 16, which is just still really unheard of. And it really makes me happy. There's just so much deck potential here. Unless you're playing red, like besides Reboot Hit, there's really not a lot of people playing red right now. But blue and green are doing super well, with yellow having their own little niche here as well. So just there's so much stuff to look into. And like something else to consider as well is that Sin Shenron is a super good deck, but in like a best of one, especially when the timing is a little bit tight on these online tournaments, especially since there's like added delay because it's online and all that. I don't think this is like a good format for Sin Shenron, but it's still a really good deck, and it did well in Virginia Beast last week as well. So I think there's even more decks and more leaders that are viable than these, but just seeing the variety as well is just fantastic. And I think it just shows how good of a move banning the U3 cards was, because we just have this super great meta that I really hope the anniversary box doesn't break. But I also have all of the deck list in here as well from the PPG, and so I put all 3 of these online events together, and what we've got is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ooh, don't do that, 7, 8, 9, is it 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, 10 different leaders. And if you look at the kind of the top part here, we kind of have like a pretty good like tier 1 in my opinion, at least for this best of one format, of where there's Zamasu, Vegix, Dredge, and Vegito. So these are kind of tier 1, where I'd say like the other of these are probably tier 2, maybe tier 3, but probably tier 2. And but just a really strong core of at least these 4. And I think these 4 are the only ones that all 3 of these topped every event. We had 1 Vegito in every event. We had 1 Dredge in every one, Zamasu, and Vegix as well. So like just the fact that these were in all 3 top 8s just means to me that they're very powerful. So there's that information there. I'm not going to go through all the decks, but I did pick a couple decks I want to talk over and talk about. But if you guys want to see any of the other decks, they're just on this list that was once again in the description below. So first, let's look at the first place for Top Cut. We've got Jerry Bishop's Vegito. So him and also Russell Stelzer ran a more mono blue version of this deck, and I think it's pretty good. Being able to do some fancy things with just, I mean, Zeno's like a really good unison, right? I think it's one of the blue's best unison in a lot of ways. But the biggest thing about him is that you're kind of stuck into playing mono blue because of it, right? And in the very least, it's hard to play. You don't want to have a bunch of energy exhaust cards in your deck, because then if it hits it with your Zeno effect, then you just essentially lose the energy that you would gain from this effect for the turn. So you got to be kind of frugal with selecting it. But he's just being able to ramp even temporarily. Like he kind of ensures a ramp 1 for until you like 4 or 5 energy, and that's, you don't need that ramp anymore. So he's just such a good unison. So this deck really takes advantage of that. So we've got 4 Dr. Rhoda, 2 Jill Cole. So these are kind of like, you want to play turn 1 just so you can awaken really early. We all know that waking turn 1 with 8 energy is stupid, so this leader is really good for doing that. has a bunch of negates and really defensive options, and then just some big powerhouses for later in the game. So we've got like a Booney, which is still like one of the best cards in the game. Our win condition is still like Go Tanks, and even Zeno Unison can be a triple striker to end the game, which is absurd, right? If you just want to try to end the game with this card, if it's still around on turn 5, you can just do it, which is super silly. But yeah, we just want to get a bunch of card advantage. Our leader's fantastic for getting card advantage because he's essentially a draw 1 on each player's turn, 1 when he swings and 1 on your opponent's turn if they KO something, which is super easy to do. And you're just controlling the board with like a bunch of Sensu Beans, a bunch of blockers, especially the Son Goku and Hit. This is a fantastic card that can essentially block 2 attacks in a lot of ways, which is really nice. Zamasu Sacred Disbelief is a great card as well, just stopping like 1 or 2 attacks, and then obviously can get this guy out as well. And that's really all I have to say. And we have also the secret rare Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as our win condition as well, and he's a pretty good one at that, especially since we can also use like our unisons to swing for game anyways. Like this card is just straight gas because it does it for 3 energy essentially, because it's 5 energy but you get 2 energy back. You can play this guy, wipe their board, and then you'd still have 2 energy untapped that you can use your triple strike on one of your unison cards too. So you have like 2 triple strikers for like 5 energy, and neither of them can really be interacted with. So that's all good there, and I really like this deck. Next up, and looking at some quick things, so the biggest thing I'd say about this deck is that you got to be careful with these multicolors, because if you hit them with Zeno, you just feel really bad about it. So we also have Russell's version that doesn't have that. It's kind of a more standard build, in my opinion. Has like at all cost Vegeta as a potential win condition as well. They also have like the Cell can be grid because we're just gonna have a bunch of extra energy. So being able to use this for drawing 1 is nice. He has this Android 16 mechanical prowess, which I really like. So it's a blocker that when a card in your energy area is placed in your drop area by one of your skills, you may play this card from your hand. This is really, really good in the sense that, let's say you want to be kind of aggressive with your energy and that kind of stuff, like you want to go on like turn 4. Let's say you want, on turn 3 really, right? You want to play the Zeno, playing a Booney with it. So if you do that, it will be fine, but you won't have the untapped draw 1 guaranteed next turn because you'll be tapped out. I guess Obuni gets like an untapped 1 potentially. But being able to just play this blocker for essentially free, as long as you use a Zeno effect, is incredibly powerful and can help out this leader just with its ability and such. So I think this is almost a must card for Blue Unis or Blue Vegito, and it's a really good find by Russell. So I really like that card. He also has like these 2 draft box finishing conditions. So we've got this Master Roshi, just bottom decks 2 of your opponent's battle cards, draws 1, and is a crit dual attack, which is really nice. And then also Android 17, which pretty much just wipes the board and can just win you the game on the spot too. So I don't know if this is needed as much since we kind of want to do a big triple strike for the win, but this is definitely a very flashy card. So good for Russell as well. Very strong deck. Next up, let's look at the Vegex. If you want to actually see the deck player, Abel talk about it, this is in the description. This link to the Super Players video is there, so definitely check that out. I'll just say real quickly that this is kind of, I think, like more like the standard build that they were expecting for this, using a lot of these Vegex Unisons, and also using some like 3-drop Vegeta Xenos to do stuff. So you can use like Black Mass Saiyan Splintering Mind for like a 2 life for 1 scenario, which is really nice. And just really pressure your opponent. Like this gets so much value off of a lot of things. Being able to use Bibbidi as your super combo is really nice. Being able to use Fuel Mission Accomplice, Koitsuku, having some Double Striker. Like all these cards are really good. This is more, I'd say, like a mid-range version, especially since we have cards like Black Smoke Dragon or Hachiyak, where we just want to, we can just play these from like a drop area for like really, it's kind of expensive, but they do a lot of, and get a lot of value as well. So definitely listen to his video. He has better insight than me, but definitely a great deck because he went undefeated, so how could it not be? Next up, we've got Fusamasu, and this is, I believe, Marcus's build for both days. He got, shoutouts to him, by the way, because he got second in both the CoreTCG and Top Cut events, so that's awesome. I'm really proud of him, so good job for Marcus. He'll probably make a video going over the deck already, so check out for that, and I'll make sure to link it if he does. I'm going to assume that either this is just both versions, or at least the best version, because this is the one he ran for Top Cut. But if he has any opinions, he'll probably place in a video. But this is kind of like the same thing as Vegito in a lot of ways. You want Zeno as your unison, and instead of getting the draw 2, 1 draw on your turn, 1 draw on your opponent's turn, you get Fusamasu's kind of awakened effect, where let's see, when this card attacks, draw 1, and then also you can give this card dual attack by plopping your Zeno energy to your drop area, which you do anyways. are you can just choose one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck, which doesn't like there's no energy restriction for that. It doesn't get around barrier, which is not it's fine. But being able to just swing twice and draw it twice is fantastic. So I feel like like a lot of people, including myself for sure, just kind of overlook the fact that you can just draw 2 with this leader on your turn, which is and get 2 attacks. That's fantastic. Like he goes +2 on Awaken side, where a lot of leaders kind of go +1. I'd say that and also you can Awaken early with this. So if you have 4 or more energy, which you can do on like turn 1 or 2, like you can do this on turn 2, because you just use like Zamasu, get a 3rd energy, and then just use Zeno Unison, hit any of your yellow stuff. So that's I think like the only thing you have to be really worried about. But I think this is a really solid deck because of that, and Marcus definitely plays it well. Has some big win conditions because he's got Android 17 turning the tide. He also has Goku Black, which is fantastic. So you can just evolve this for 4 as long as you have a Goku Black in your energy, which could just be one of these, honestly. And then like you can just charge one of these and then use Goku Black to go use the second copy of this to go into it. But if your leader is a blue Zamasu Goku Black, your opponent has 5 more energy. When a card evolves in this card, place up to 2 of your opponent's energy in their drop areas. So this could just be played, and then you get rid of 2 of like their energy that they were untapped. So you can just kind of make them go negative, which is really nice. And really like it rests their energy in a way. Like a lot of people are doing that. So it's a great card and can help just turn the tide. Also, Manaka with dual attack leader is fantastic as well. So there's that, and he's playing the SS4 and everything. So here's the deck. It's great. Listen to Marcus if he makes a video for it. You also have this quick version. I think this is, let me make sure I got the name right. This is Lee's version of Zamasu. So this is kind of more standard blue. He went more with the Tragedy Overground package, which is a really nice package. Being able to just play this for free and then have a board wipe and then also have them like desensitized to play more cards is fantastic. He has some cool cards. I really like this great priest in here too. Like you can do some tricky things like you just return the cards to their hands. So let's say you play like a Zeno for free, and then you play a Zamasu for free. So you play Zamasu for free, that's 1 energy, and then you get it back, and then you can play Zeno, and then so you get a draw 1. So you got draw 1 for 1, and then you can go into this great priest for free. So not only does the super hit combo come back to your hand and become safe, but then you have like this 20k crit and everything. So I think this is a cool idea to have this card since you have so many gods. He also has this Trunks. I don't know if it's good. Oh, you can also return like this Goku Black, which you play for free also. So like this card is really good at returning cards that you play for free anyways. So I really like that idea. This Super Saiyan Trunks. I've never really thought this card was really good, but especially since you can just play it for free, and then it becomes for 2 more energy, it becomes a 30k triple strike. That's fine, I guess. Active battle speed. But I guess it's just because there's also you can find it with Mai, so there's more cards for that because you're running 3 of this guy too. So you have 3, 4. You've got 9 cards that this Mai can hit. That's probably fine. But I really like all these cards, and it looks really fun. So I'm probably gonna try Blue Zamasu pretty soon. It looks like it's been too much fun to not try it out. Next up, we've got Dredge 2. We've got a bunch of builds. We're going to look at Mark Hill's Maiden version that he played in the Top Cut event. Personally, I played against this, and I really think... I think I love Dredge 2, and if it wasn't super popular, I'd play more of it. And here's kind of my mindset of where I already know this leader's good, right? And so I'm not going to try to make sure that this leader's the best. I want to try some other stuff. So definitely if I was playing a more competitive tournament where the stakes super duper matter, I would definitely invest in Dredge 2 and consider it, because it's right up my alley. It's green, it has hand destruction, it's control, and it just has a really cool interaction, especially with all the stuff you can do in the drop area. There's some sneaky things you can do, especially with Roshi. So if you just keep putting, if you burst 3 cards, there's so many cards, you can search half your deck essentially, right? Which is fantastic. Roshi can get any extra card you need back, so you can get Dormant Potentials back if you need to stall at the turn. You can get Maiden Transformations, which for 4 energy makes your opponent discard 2 cards for each one of these guys, so they discard 4 cards from their hand, which is pretty absurd. There's also the Save a Hopeful Future, which can get cards like Zerloin out and all just a bunch of really meaty 4-drops. So this can be any 4-drop you really need on turn 4, which is fantastic as well. So I really like this card. Works with the deck super duper well, and there's just a bunch of nice value you can get from here. Ginyu's I've been seeing a lot of people attack this card as well. So, because if you just play it for free, you can just take control of one of their opponent's cards that they would need anyways. So, an effect like this for free is really good. If it was like 3 red energy, like it has been in the past, it wouldn't be as good. But I think this is a nice little tech. Something else I've been seeing these decks kind of tech in is the Android 21 blue green card, because you can get it with this to save a hopeful future, and you can just like snipe 1 life from your opponent if you really need it. So that can be a really helpful card to get as well. And so I think that's really it. Rebrands, obviously you want 4 of those, and then Goku's just because you're milling so much of your deck, so you want to be able to get your cards back. Unisons are Bardock because it's really easy to get 1-drops, and you want to be kind of like hand destruction based, and also Golden Frieza, which can be really good too, just getting cards. Like you can make sure you can get cards in your drop area because you can use this card, put it on top of your deck, and you can use your Goku swing to burst 3. So really good synergy. And Mark played it super well, so congrats to him. We also have 2 Reboot Gohans. Both of them are kind of different. So first we've got Thomas Lippmann's version. So he's kind of, this I'd say is like more traditional in a lot of ways. This is kind of like a blue-green version, and I don't think he ran any new cards from the set 10. I don't think he has any set 10 cards in here, right? Yeah. So this is like a set 9 deck. Oh wait. He's got 1. No, this is draft box. So this one Son Goku evening the odds, but. Just generally the same deck that's always been around for a while. Just really abusing Feet Kamehameha as a card, and just running blue-green stuff. Using Android 16 to play this for free as well, so a free 15k swing, and just kind of somewhat minor hand destruction stuff as well. He had some like interesting with what he runs this Android 18, which is interesting, and also this one as well. So if you have a blue-green multicolor energy, when you come with this card, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards at any cost of 1 and turn it to their hand. So I guess this is kind of like some like field destruction in the main as well, but really cool deck. And then we also have this monstrosity, Sean McVickers. He's got what, 20? Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sorry, 24. Literally half his deck is 1-drop Self Awakeners, which is crazy. I played against this deck and with my Surge Cell list, and it was like 10 minutes. I got to like turn 2, and he was just KOing me. This was super duper aggressive. And it really takes advantage of, in the last couple months, we've got this Zarbuto, which is a new one of them. We also have this Son Goku and also the Sidoriya, right? So now each one has, 2 double strikers, and green has 2 double strikers, and yellow has 2 crits, and then 1 extra double striker and 1 extra crit. So that's just like a bunch of Self-Awakeners. It's almost impossible for this not to awaken on turn 2 now, right? Even if you don't swing on them, right? So they use 1 energy, so they can do the swing twice, which means that they can get 4 energy just with your leader, and then they can do 1 to 2 to actually 3 on turn 2 if they went second, with just their battle cards too. So it's just very aggressive, very nasty. And then they have Bardocks just for some extra cycle. They've got Feet Kamehameha. They've got Planet Vegeta. Probably just this, honestly search either Bardock or Belmod. They have Surprise Attack Frieza for some reason. I'm not sure why this card is in here, because you don't have a lot of card destruction, but it's there for sure. And also it has 4 of these Frieza Imperial and Inspiration, which just gives a battle card critical. So if you have like one of your big double strikers, and you can play it, if you have energy open for turn 2 and still awaken, you can just use the Zarbuto, and then they won't block it, and then you'll just give it crit anyways, and just it's very disgusting. So really fun deck in the sense of like it's really simple, right? But it's very effective at the same time. And real quick, maybe I'll make a video. I don't like this card anymore. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a real cool interaction, but I think it's a little bit too much for this leader. And I'm hoping something happens with Feet Kamehameha, and if it's only with either one, I don't think this card necessarily needs to get banned. But if it got eroded to, if your leader card is strictly like it's in the wording of only Son Goku, a green Son Goku, because the leader doesn't is Son Goku and Son Gohan. So if it just became Son Goku only, that would be a lot better and help the card out in the sense of it would still help the I guess original cards that this would be used for, but take this, and especially since we still have this Frieza, right? If they want to give it crit triple strike, they still can with this Frieza, but it's just not 15k. It's only 5k instead. So I think that's a little bit more fair. But we'll see if that. It's not like this deck is terribly broken, but I don't have fun playing against it. But that could just be me, and that's totally fine. Next up, we've got, here's like the only. This is I made a video about this. I don't know even why I put this here. You guys can watch that video. I did well. Hooray for me. Whatever. We also have George. with his Invoker. The only one on that made top 16 on, I guess, the top cut one, even though we had Anthony with his Invoker that he got first place with on the PPG one. The last two events only had his, and it's pretty standard still. He's got a little bit more fancy stuff like one's a Masu for sure, and then pretty much like it's, I don't know. Invoker really only got Son Goku Rival Seeker as a new card for set 10, and that's really like the only card people are using that is really new. But he did experiment with both Son Gokus in case one didn't work out. I'd say like this one's more powerful for a win condition. Like this is more final if you can get to life, but yet definitely can think like this one's like a more surprise tactic in a lot of way. And that's really, it's really strong. Invoker's a good deck, and congrats to George as well. Lastly, we've got this Reboot Hit list, which is really fun. I've been taken with Reboot Hit myself just because he has some really cool the stuff with when this card attacks on the Awakened side, draw 1. This card gets plus 5k power for duration of the turn, then choose up to one skillless battle card in your drop area with any cost of 2 or less and play it. So I've been really looking at this list and this leader, especially since there's been a lot of like vanilla support in the past couple weeks. So this could be a good leader for that kind of playstyle in general. But just really cool, especially with the Unison. So Gotenks is a really good card for this leader as well, because he becomes a 20k swing every time he swings. Only at leaders, but still that's fantastic. And then it also has some self-awakens, with this leader could also use a lot of as well, so just some good synergy there. He also runs this Vegeta Elite Unison, and I'm not really sure why he chose this guy. I would almost think Sen Shenron might be a little bit better, but he decided to go with him, and maybe it's just the energy works out better. That 2 energy is just where you want to put your Unison. But a pretty good card in the sense that when this card attacks, you can add a marker to it, and then you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards that gets minus 5k. So it's like good for like early, getting rid of cards early. But I think the big thing is probably giving cards the effect to attack battle cards in active mode, which I don't know. I still think Sen Shenron could be like better for that, but maybe he didn't have it, and maybe there is a better reason. If you're watching this, put a comment below why this could be better than Sen Shenron. But there we go. And then like for 1-drops, he's running Intensifying Power Trunks, which is fantastic for self-waking as well. We've got Bulma out adventuring, one of like the strongest super. It's a really interesting super combo. It's really strong. You can get it, pretty much gets Trunks back only, but like that's still just an extra 5k. He's running 6 vanillas, 2 Yamchas, and 2 of these Nate Village monsters, which are also Earthlings. So Yamcha is the only Earthling total by itself, but if both these get removed by, is able to activate her effect, play herself as a blocker, and you can choose one of your red Earthling only. So you could get Yamcha, but also you have like the 3-drop Yamcha. I guess 2-drop Yamcha is better if you just bring it out for a vanilla. But we also have Yamcha the Desert Hyena. So if your leader card's ready, it gets plus 10k power, and then during a battle, when this card is attacking, when your opponent activates a counter skill, switch this card active mode. And then auto, when this card KOs an opponent's battle card, switches card to active mode, gets plus 10k power and triple strike for the turn. So very powerful there. It's weird because it's like a rare, right? This doesn't look like it's a really intimidating card, but it can just be a great win condition by itself. He has some extra swag as well, like Mercenary Tao is a really good card. He's running 3 of the Goku Apes as well. He's running 4 of these Friezas, which, for 2 red energy, you play it for free as long as you have red Unison with specified energy cost 2 in play. Probably that's why they're running Vegeta Unison, probably to play this card. But when your opponent activates a counter, you can choose which one of their battle cards, ignore a barrier, gets minus 30k power for the turn. So he's really, it's just counter in general, and there's a bunch of like counter plays being played right now, but it could be counter attack as well. So that's probably why he's using this card, to just, get a lot of power out of like the Frieza counterplay, or maybe like the Trunks counterplay. This works really well with that. What else we got? He's running 4 topos, and then also 2 of these Son Gohan, the Avenger, which this is just kind of like a slightly worse topo in a lot of ways, but can KO cards. But it's just like, I think topo is just better in a bunch of ways, but this card's still, like, this card came out, and then like they're like, oh, this card's really good, and then like a week or a month later, this card came out, and then everyone just went to this card, even though like this was like a promo card. They're like, oh, topo's better and cheaper, so we'll just do that card. So running 2 of these Super Saiyan Vegeta Exploring Weakness, very good card. Especially since your leader is red already. Secret Rare is the Frieza Army Reborn, and I think it's pretty easy to get this leader to 2 or less life, especially since you have Awakeners, especially since you have a Unison Awakener, so this can be very good for that. And just a fantastic win condition too, because it can, just blow up your opponent's field, look at their cards and say, okay, can I win with this? What can I do? And it is Quad Strike too, which is just absurd, so... I think that's all the cards. So just a really cool aggro mid-range deck in a lot of ways, and just gains a lot of value by and also being very aggressive at the same time. So I really like this list, and I'm happy he did well with it. And that's really all I have to say. Once again, if you want to look at all these lists by yourself, definitely check out this forum. It's in the description of this video. And that's really all I've got. So thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what your favorite deck was from these past couple weekends, and I'll catch you all next time.